So you've been having trouble with that job hunt. It can be really frustrating trying to find the right website, the right job. What are you trying to do? Well, don't worry about all that frustration because Job Seeker, this tech time is for you. Welcome to Tech Time. As mentioned, we're going to be looking at how to go about looking for jobs. We have some resources for you. We're going to be pretty much putting a whole lot of things together. If you've been watching the little shorts all week, you have some idea, but we're going to just solidify all of that for you. We're going to start today by looking at El Portal. It's a website provided by the State Library of New Mexico that we have access to. Anyone who lives in New Mexico can go to this site and utilize all the resources there. You can get to this site from the library's homepage, ofpl.online, anytime you want. But we're going to go ahead and just take the direct link, which is lportalnm.org. And the reason we're going to start here is because there are so many resources that are just on this page. We're going to start by clicking the All Resources button, which is going to take us to the list of all the different resources. And if you've not used El Portal before, please check out our other video on what's here and what you can do. Our focus today, though, is on this little button called Job Now, brought to us by BrainFuse. So anyone who is getting started has no idea where to begin, or maybe you're looking for a change, this is the best place to go to just kind of get things moving. So this Job Now page has resume help, job interview help, and career help. Again, check out our other videos where we go in depth into the different pieces of this. But it's worth mentioning that since we're doing a job hunting tech time, that we bring this up again. So have a look or check out our other video to find out more about this page. But a lot of resources are here for you. There's also the job search, which will take you to Indeed, and we'll talk more about Indeed in just a little bit. Let's go back and discuss searching with Google. One of the things I showed you in the shorts this week is how to do a job hunt using Google. So let's review. If you want to look for a job on Google, you just put in kind of a little formula. You type in the job that you're looking for. You add the word jobs near me, which will bring up this screen. When you see this, you know you've done it right because this is the job hunting pre-screen. When you click on the More button down below, it will take you to the actual Google page dedicated to job hunting. And you'll notice that the page is completely different now. We're not in the regular Google search anymore. We're in the job hunting Google search. So let's take a in-depth look at what tools you have here when you job search with Google. Of course, we mentioned that there is a save and share feature for every job that you find listed here. And all the job listings are going to be here on the left-hand side. You can scroll through, find one that seems interesting or that you might qualify for. Click on it to get more information. If it's something that you think you might want to apply for later on, of course you can save this job or share it if you're trying to help somebody else. Now, I want to mention that in order to use the save or alert features for Google, you do have to be signed in to your Gmail account. Once you are signed in, you can save, share, and all the other things that are here. Any jobs that you save will be saved in this tab, the Saved tab. since I haven't saved any jobs there, I don't have anything to show. But anytime you do, they will be here, easy to find, so that you can always come back, apply for them later on, and you don't have to go through the whole job search again. There's also some nice little filters here to help filter out some of the things that you may not want for your new job. Of course, location. So if you need to work within a certain range, you can choose whatever that range is. If you don't care, you can just choose anywhere. There is that option. It also narrows things down by communities, such as Gallup, Yatahe, Church Rock, or Merco, places where the position may be offered. You can also filter by when it was posted. This could be a good one, especially if you're having trouble, because sometimes job postings will just linger out on the internet and float around for months and months and months. If you want to make sure that you're getting in on something right away, you could filter that out so that it says the past 3 days or the past week, or maybe you are looking for something older. You can also filter by the type of job, whether you want full-time, part-time, or it doesn't matter, you're just looking for a job. There's also contractor, internship, and others, which aren't lighted up at this point because our search didn't yield any of these. If you're looking to work for a particular type of company, you can choose that and it'll only show those. Or maybe you want to work for a particular employer. You can also choose that and have it filtered by that. I'm going to go back to title. Again, these are job titles for all the different positions listed here. So a lot of ways to help you narrow things down. Again, anytime you click on these jobs, it does bring up the position on the main screen, lets you look it over. Some things to keep in mind when you're on the main screen. Watch for how you can apply for the job, and watch to see if the company website shows up here at the bottom of the search screen. The reason you want this to be here is because whenever you're applying for a job, the best thing to do is to apply through the company you're applying to directly. Now, this works well if it is a national chain or something that has many locations around the state. If you are applying for something that is just here in our community, just local, that might not be the best option. You also want to pay close attention to what these options are. Oftentimes, you're going to have third-party applications. I call them third-party applications because they're not direct between you and the actual company. You're filling out an application through this company, who then forwards it on to the applying company. If you can avoid that, avoid that. Like I said, go straight to the company's actual website. And we did talk about this also during the week. If you scroll down to the very bottom of the page, anytime you're applying for a job, you look for, usually under company info or something related to the company, you'll find the careers button. Clicking on the careers button will take you to the actual career page. And this is where you can find the applications, apply directly, and avoid that middleman. Okay, we're going to go ahead and return back to our search screen. One other great thing that you have at your fingertips if you search with Google is the alerts. Alerts are great because you can turn them on and off with ease. It doesn't matter if you have you're signed in all the time or not. What we'll see as we look at some of the other search websites when you create a profile and account with them, it's really hard sometimes to go in and turn off notification emails. That's when a new job is posted that is something that you are looking for. They send you email, and you just keep getting constant emails all the time. It can be a bit much. Google has a very easy on off switch. If you want to get alerts whenever jobs from this search pop up, you turn it on. If you don't, you turn it off. If you have it on, you can find your alerts here. Click on the Alerts tab and it will take you straight to any alerts that you have. And it'll help you avoid looking through the entire list of all the other jobs. So this is the Google page in a nutshell. Again, very helpful for job hunting. Highly recommend. If you prefer to stay in a more traditional route, I do want to tell you, be careful. There are some job hunting websites out there that are not very helpful. They're not meant to be helpful, and it's really hard sometimes to figure out what's what. So one example that I found, and I mentioned this again in one of our shorts, is the site Jobhat. A lot of people try it, but I've heard so many people say that they just can't find what they're looking for. So I'm going to do the same search that we just did on Google. Okay. Now, if you were with me earlier in the week when I did this exact same search, it said that they had found 157 jobs. And then I had said earlier that it said 38. Now it says 22. Again, I think that this is a randomly generated number and actually has no bearing on a job search at all. Any website, especially job hunting website, that is requiring you to give this kind of information is something you definitely want to avoid. It won't let you go on until you fill in the required fields, and it looks like if you can't fill these fields in, then you can't move on with your job search. That's actually wrong as well. There is a skip button here on the far corner which will allow you to skip this. So the question is, if you can skip this, but you have to fill this in if you click the button down below, why is this here? Well, I hope you're asking those kinds of questions when you're doing job hunting and not just taking for granted that something pops up and you need to fill it in. Be smart, use your instincts, and if something doesn't seem right, it probably isn't right. This is a perfect example of a website trying to get information. Information is very valuable. Sometimes information can be more valuable than actual money. This information can be shared with other parties, and then those other parties can contact you, and that's when you end up getting some of those weird phone calls or strange emails. So let's go ahead and click the skip button and see these 22 jobs it says are, oh, guess what? I do not see 22. Happened the last time as well. There's one in their search field. One. Avoid websites that do not give you correct information and that are after your information. Don't do it. Don't go to them. There are plenty of other websites available. Okay, again, one such site that a lot of people use in our area is Indeed. I have no problems with Indeed. I think it's a great search place to go to look for jobs. We're going to do the same search that we have done with the other two. Let's see what comes up. So we got some positions that are popping up here. Let's click on one. Alright, so one of the things that I've seen a lot of the websites that are job hunting websites do is they've started to add in this, apply on company site. And that's because so many people get confused, frustrated, have a hard time getting through the application process when they're going through third parties. So having this feature, which will take you to the company site and allow you to fill out the application there, it's just great. It's a good thing to have. So it looks like this has taken us all the way through. You can tell, remember earlier when we checked out the Albertson site? All this information was there, so you can tell we are definitely where we need to be. So that was a good link. That's what we want. Not everything's going to have that. Sometimes you're going to come across things that do not have a company website. Sometimes they will tell you where to go, or if you need to, pay attention to who's hiring, look them up, and see if you can find their actual website, or contact them to see what method they would prefer for you to use to apply for their position. It is not a bad thing to contact potential employers and find out how they would like things done. When you use a site like this, just like the Google site, there are filters and things that you can use to help you out. Those are listed here. All the same kind of filters. Distance. This one has how much the pay is. Type of job. Full-time, part-time. Where it is. Who's hiring. This one even has what experience level it is. So make use of the filters. Use some discernment. Think about what you're doing. And I guarantee you're going to have a good time. Now, some people ask, do I have to create a sign-in for Indeed or Career Builder or Monster? The answer is no, you do not have to. If you want to, you can, and when you do, it does give you options to save things like your resume, your job searches, but it is totally up to you. You can do the same kind of things without having to create an account and sign in. You can upload your resume into Google if you have a Gmail account, leave it in your Google Drive, so there are ways around it. If you have questions about that, please feel free to let me know. I'll be happy to walk you through and explain how you can better take advantage of some of the free features that you have already out there. Before we wrap things up, I do want to point out one more thing. Indeed does have a really good career guide. It's a resource center for anyone who is trying to look for jobs. And there are some very good videos that talk on topics like job searching, resume writing, interviewing, cover letters, the whole gambit, the whole process, everything. Great videos, worth a watch, especially if you're trying to learn more. So take advantage of what's out there. A couple of tips just to make sure that you are getting your best foot forward. When you go to do job hunting and job applying, make sure you give yourself enough time. I can't tell you how many times I've had to work with people who came in a hurry trying to fill out applications and didn't get to finish it. These things take time. You do have to have a lot of information, so make sure you have all of your information handy. If you have a resume, have it ready to go. If you don't have a resume, maybe start that first, then start looking. But the point is, put away some good time to work on this. Be patient and do your best. If you stick with it, do your best and give yourself plenty of time, you're going to be a lot more successful. So that's our tech time for today. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, message us, contact us at any of our potential contacts, and stay safe out there. And until next time.